Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup. And today's hosts are Karis and Transparent.
Hello, thank you for having me tonight, Karis. This is very exciting to be on the Mega Monday matchup. I think we've got a very exciting series tonight.
Yeah, we do. It's Division 1 between Hype Pew Pew and Exon Esports, eXon-black. Now, the thing is, eXon-black, they're a member of the Exon Esports. I guess you could call them esports community organization. But what do you know about Hype Pew Pew?
Hi Pew Pew. Well, they're they're pretty. Sorry. Oh, suddenly got something in my throat there. Hi Pew Pew. They've got a few old members of some successful teams in the past. Of course, Halcyon 4B1B and Octa 4B1B, both members from 4B1B, successful team in the Legendary Cup of Season 9. But also, not just that, but there's a lot of players in there that were runners-up for the Mythic Cup last season. It was a very close contest last season for the Mythic Cup. And Halcyon, I believe, was part of that team, as well as, I think it was Freaks. So there's a few members in there, so they've sort of got a lot of pedigree that have come in from the most recent seasons. So this is a team to watch for the Mythic Cup champions this season as well, for sure.
Yeah, so they're definitely looking like, one of the stronger contenders. Now, what's interesting, actually, if we saw, for those of you who saw yesterday, Exxon Esports went up against Xenon, who are also kind of competing with Hype Pew Pew at the top of that Division 1 table. And Xenon were able to defeat Exxon-black. So I guess the pressure is on Hype Pew Pew now. They're going to be feeling like if they want to prove that they're at the same level as Xenon or higher, they really want to take this victory confidently today if they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe it'll come from Exxon as well to really push back against there, saying, look, you know what, we got beaten by Xenon, but here we are. We want to beat Hype Pew Pew, and let's bring out our best today and try and take a win from the top of the table.
Yeah, so far, what is it? So Hype Pew Pew have won 4 out of 5 matches so far, and Exxon Esports have won 3 out of 5. So, pretty good results from both teams, but obviously Exxon-black wanting to equalize there. So, on the topic of Division 1, I believe Samu has literally just released a new blog post on the Heroes Lounge website, heroeslounge.gg, and he's done a bit of a fairly deep dive into some of the statistics that have been seen in Division 1 so far in the first 5 rounds. But one thing that stuck out, caught my eye is that Halcyon from Hype Pew Pew has the second highest number of taunts in Division 1. What do you make of that?
He likes to show off. He's a bit of a show off himself. And if he's got an opportunity to just splash, I think the thing with the Division 1 is that they've all been scrimming each other a lot, I believe. For the last sort of certainly the top end, they all scrim each other, especially when they were sort of trying to qualify for Div S, and so they know each other fairly well in that sort of terms. So popping a taunt down here and there, it's just a little bit of friendly play between the teams. So I don't think there's anything malicious out there. But yeah, it's quite funny to see that the taunt key is used, because of course when you use taunt, you're locked in there at all for the whole duration of the taunt. But yeah, we'll see if he does any taunts, dances, or sprays tonight, I'm sure.
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with taunt, because I believe in Varian main tank, and he gets a lot of value out of taunting.
Yeah.
But as you
Don't
say,
forget Garrosh.
Oh yeah, he's got Warlord's Challenge. He should have a Warlord's Challenge hero specific taunt as well. So I mean, that is the kind of the atmosphere in Division 1. They've got a lot of rivalry there, a lot of banter back and forth between these teams. So it's really not so surprising to see a fairly juicy amount of taunting going on.
No. But the one thing that Samu did point out as well is that DEATHWING has sort of rarely been seen. Which a lot of teams sort of throughout the divisions see Deathwing as a big threat, and in Division One, it's only been has played in 2 games since he was allowed. Obviously, we've there's been a few weeks now where he's been allowed. There was sort of a little bit of a change over time, obviously with the holiday break. But yeah, I wonder if we'll see him today. If that's a hero that will suddenly make an entrance, falling from the sky to splash the 3rd game.
Yeah, that could be, but yeah, like the nerfs that occurred earlier this week could be, more likely to make him less played, or it might mean that he gets banned less and therefore gets played a little bit more. People in the chat are impressed by the fact that you are in fact transparent. I don't know if you know this noticed transparent what I've done, what I've done to you.
I've
But
seen. I'm a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I'd call that translucent. Maybe I don't know. Well, I
okay,
guess it is transparent, isn't it?
okay, so translucent, you say. Let me fix that for you.
I don't know. I guess transparent. I am. You can see completely through me. Translucent would sort of be slightly, uh, yeah, harder to see through me. But no, it's all good. It's all good.
Don't worry,
We're
I
gonna
fixed it on screen now, as you'll see when you get past the delay. Um, but the back to the actual match that's going on.
Yeah.
We do have a map pick, and that is going to be Volskaya Industries. Now, what does that tell you, if anything?
It tells me that we got some good rotations coming up, and we got some big brawls because those points last for so long. Like when you've got to stand on them for a good, it feels like 5 minutes sometimes. You're on those points, and so yeah, it feels like it goes on forever. And I really want to see some nice brawly comps happening, where maybe some stacking heroes like Chromie. That's always a good one to see.
Yeah. As you may know, I'm a big fan of Zarya on Volskaya Foundry, and I think that has been played a couple of times in Division 1 as well. I've not actually seen the stats on that, but I'm pretty sure it has. So, what I think one of the things that we know about Volskaya is it's sort of picked very popularly by basically all of the teams. But we do know that like Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry are the 2 most popular maps in every division of Heroes Lounge.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I mean, why is that, do you think, for
I think it's
Volskaya?
these large objectives where there's sort of you hang around them for quite a while. It sort of spreads the difference between the macro and the micro so nicely. You're at the objective around about the same amount of time, both on Volskaya and Infernal Shrines, and I think that sort of brings a nice feeling of fairness, which I think the other maps perhaps feel a little bit asymmetrical at times and a little bit panicked.
Now, you and I were looking the other day actually at sort of globe across the whole of Heroes Lounge maps that get spanned, and Garden of Terror, or that have been played, sorry, and Garden of Terror has been played the least. And here again, it's been banned this time by eXon-black. Why? Why do you think that is?
Um, which so Garden is one of those maps where I think it's come into the match pool and people just don't know how to play it and they can't be bothered to practice. So let's get rid of it. There's some cheese can happen there, but we don't want to face the cheese, so we will go without it. Ultrac as well. It's a newish map. Some many pokes happen there. If you're not a team that runs sort of those weird heroes a little bit, with the longer range, like the Chromie, like the Junkrat, stuff like that just can interrupt and just make things feel a little bit strange. Then you ban them out. Yep, you get rid of them, and I think some teams are starting to adapt to Ulterac Pass now, and they sort of have their strats. They have the heroes they like to pick, and so they pick it, and it's good. It's good that that's coming through. But as we've seen, Exxon have banned it this time. I think Exxon prefer the more traditional maps. They themselves pick a lot of Dragonshire, and they like Volskaya and Tomb themselves. So it's these sort of smaller maps where they can have a good 4-man rotation as well. So I expect Exxon to put up a good fight here.
Now, Volskaya has been really rising in popularity as well, particularly in the higher divisions. Sorry, I just said Volskaya. Volskaya, obviously. But Battlefield is what I was going to say. Battlefield has also been rising in popularity as well, Battlefield of Eternity. Now, to me, that's slightly surprising because it's such a draft-dependent map, it feels to me, Battlefield of Eternity. But you get, you do get a bit of different playstyles on there sometimes. And I don't know why it's sort of getting that niche, carving out that niche, particularly in the higher divisions.
Yeah, it is a strange one because it can sort of snowball a bit at times, especially if you get a good first objective. But um, especially as it's a two-lane map, so there's less minions as well. But I think if you pick Battlefield, because it is a two-lane map, you then obviously do get to pick the off-laner last, so you can get a little bit of counter pick there, and that sort of additional strategy does work out well in the long term.
Can I just say thank you, Aviator, who's just hosted Heroes Lounge, and welcome to all of Aviator's viewers. You're watching the Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup between Hype Pew Pew and Exxon Esports eXon-black. And we're going to kick off with this Division 1 match in just a few minutes. And for those of you who don't know, Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup takes place every Monday. Could you believe it? On the Heroes Lounge channel, where we showcase a range of different casters and divisions. So yes, welcome Aviator. Hope you had a good game. I didn't get a chance to catch it, but I know that Heroes at School was casting that complex match, and hopefully they've done.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've done well. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll find out the result of that a bit later, maybe. But for now, we've got this Division 1 match versus Hype Pew Pew and Exxon Esports.
Yeah, and what I like about Division 1 is how prompt and on time the teams are. So, yes, back for those of you who just tuned in, I'll just quickly show the map draft again. So you can see here we have we had Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom banned by Hype Pew Pew, and Alterac Pass and Garden of Terror, the kind of slightly stranger macro maps, banned by Eexon-black. And we're going to go to Volskaya Foundry for the first in this best of three. This first of this best of three series.
Now, Towers and Cursed Hollow being banned out, there's some pretty big maps, which means that for me, that sort of signals that Hype Pew Pew are very confident on these smaller maps, the maps where there's a lot of stuff going on all the time. And Volskaya is one of them, so they've never picked it before themselves, Hype Pew Pew. So this is the first time for them, and they're obviously thinking, we're happy to go here. Let's roll out. Let's do this. We've got some strategies. We can play this absolutely.
Yeah, and well, of course, these teams are Division 1. As you say, they've been scrimming a lot against each other. Now, you've been a high-level player yourself, Transparent. And talk to us about how sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything with the you've been, as though it's past tense. Once upon a time. Talk to us about how kind of the scrims influence the psychology of these teams going into a high-level match like this Division 1 match today.
So you instantly feel very prepared when you've been scrimming a lot. So you sort of it becomes more of going through the motions. Quite often with a lot of lounge teams, certainly other ones that I've been in, you sort of just turn up on the day sometimes and try and have the best game you can. But when you're sort of doing some hard scrimming 2 or 3 times a week, you sort of you always scrim the same sort of 3 maps or 4 maps sometimes, and so you feel very confident what you want, both in the draft and sort of your early game rotations. One thing that I liked to sort of plan ahead was sort of a rollout sequence, I'd call it, which was so you knew what you were doing for the first 2 to 3 minutes of the map each time. Volskaya is one of those maps where you can sort of plan the whole first 3 or 4 minutes of the map with sort of the exact same rotations with very similar heroes each time. And I expect these teams will have something that they are planning to do for the first 5 minutes. And then after that, they'll obviously adapt. But they know exactly the camp timings, which hero is going to be where, and how they're going to rotate. Especially with the central healer camp being so vital on this map early
Mm.
game. You know, you can quite often steal it away at an opponent if their rotation is off. If they've got a weak offlaner who has weak wave clear, you might see the team with the stronger wave clear offlaner rotate that offlaner up into the mid lane to try and have 5v4 brawl onto that healer camp and then win that over as extra XP, and also you get the heal beacon.
Yeah, so there's a lot of kind of strategic preparation. It's interesting what you're saying about the rollout, because I shot call for my team in the lowly Division 3, and you're absolutely right. For the first 2 minutes, or the first 3 minutes, let's say, I'm like, we do this, we do this, we do this. The camp timing's all fine, but then after that, I'm like, okay, now what? And that's certainly a weakness in my own play, and it's something that I'm always trying to improve on. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it can, having that regimented start is a really good idea. But then you open the door potentially to what happens if the opponent tries to throw a spanner in the works. What if they do a camp invade instead of doing their own camp? And you see one person, you see your opponent go off to do the 1 minute turret camp or something. What if you invade with 3-4 people? And then that upsets your opening, and it's a little bit like in chess. It was, you know what I mean? Where people learn,
Yeah.
they learn openings, and then they come up against an opponent who just sort of says, "Well, I'm not going to play the book move in this opening. I'm just going to throw a spanner in the works." And now we're in, now we're in the wild, wild west. And what are you going to do about it? Do teams do that in Division 1? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of certainly a style. I think it becomes a bit more refined. I think it's certainly in the Division 2, 3 is where that experimentation happens a little bit more, I'd say, because you feel like the invade is strong. But at Division 1, because an invade is quite often very obvious, you'll suddenly get a huge rotation down from the rest of the team, and that invade becomes a very risky maneuver. Um, and so quite often the teams just go through the motions because they know it's fair, they know it's the sort of the safer play, and they'll take the winning objective when they can, rather than perhaps risking it a bit too much, which it can be very punishing to risk if you're not feeling 100% confident that you're gonna completely dice the enemy team. An invade is pretty risky at this level.
And they don't want to risk it for a biscuit, or indeed for a turret. I think the teams might actually finally have assembled.
Goodness me, we're
Um,
there.
so we're almost ready to go into the draft in game number 1 in this best of 3. Before we start the draft, Volskaya, what's the gut feeling in terms of first bans? Is Deathwing going to get banned? Because we talked about, it's not been played much. Will it get banned here in the first round on Volskaya Foundry?
I don't think so. I think he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna be let through. I expect sort of probably some support bans, maybe a tank ban or two, maybe the Mal'Ganis sort of stuff. Maybe Alarak I would expect to be banned out as well, just because it's a fairly powerful map for him, and he's a risky hero, and PEW have banned it a fair amount in the past.
Fair enough. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens as we go into the lobby. But yeah, we will see as we go into the lobby into Volskaya Foundry. But when we finally get this draft kicking off, we will have, I believe, points betting.
Yes, yeah.
Can you believe?
We should do indeed.
Points betting. Oh, we're even in draft number 1 in this best of 3 series between PEW on the left and Exxon Esports, eXon-black, not affiliated with ExxonMobil. I should clarify. And we have betting for points. Now these are not the same points as you see below the chat. Sorry about that. There's 2 different point systems.
It's like apples and oranges.
It's like apples and oranges. Both are delicious. Except, to be honest, I don't really like either. But that's a butcher ban from Exxon. What the dickens?
And straight away the Deathwing ban. I believe I've seen PEW play Butcher before as well in a match. I can't remember which one it was, where it was, but yeah, they have played it before. They've got a pretty good win rate with it. It's a little bit spicy, but if they feel like they're doing well, and I think it might have been here on Volskaya, because you can get the meat, you can get the rotations, and obviously once you start getting the kills, you can just own on the point. So we see the hammer as well, which is good for the point control. We see a little bit of more that specialist target banning the the heroes over the meta here. It's the heroes they don't want to deal with.
So that's banning niche, unsettling picks rather than meta that they probably more likely to have practiced against. Chromie ban a bit more traditional on Volskaya Foundry then.
Yeah, absolutely. Chromie's one of those powerhouses that can just sort of stack up very easily at the objective and on the Volskaya protector itself. ETC being picked up now here by eXon. Good standard tank, a lot of control. Has been sort of filtering off a little bit with the strength of Johanna and Mal'Ganis, but they're feeling confident, and I think they should. He's a good staple of the tank pool.
Yeah, solid all-rounder, but that does leave Johanna, Johanna open, Mal'Ganis open as well, potentially. I think, my guess is Johanna's going to get picked up in response, and there it is, picked up by Octa. Johanna on the main tank for Hype PEW, combined with a Ming here. Now, I've seen Ming really rise up in popularity in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the all build can be played here on Volskaya, but not just that, you've also got the repulsion, which stops the ETC's mosh pit as well. But also, she's very good with ETC as sort of blowing up an individual target. So Ming, yeah, sort of a solid pick there to help counter their opponents while also taking something away from them. We see the Malfurion and the Greymane now picked up for eXon-black. Once again, two staple good heroes. Greymane is especially sort of high on the meta, I think, right now because of the way he's always been able to do it, but sort of taking camps away very well and blowing tanks up as well. The Curse Bullet, I think it might have been the buff to Curse Bullet that really did it. Buffing that to 40% of a hero means that you can annihilate a tank even if it's Johanna. Power Slide, Curse Bullet, some damage, that person's dead.
Junkrat ban. Now, I don't see that very often. I know he's got really good sustained poke, which particularly here on Volskaya Foundry is very annoying. But why in particular do you think the Junkrat's been banned by Hype PEW?
I think it is just he's so annoying at the moment. Both his traps with sort of potential silences and the sort of general control, as well as displacement of the mine. I think they might be thinking the only way we can lose this fight is if one of our players gets pushed right over to the other side of the team fight and instantly dies. That's sort of how we're going to lose these fights. So get rid of that sort of anomaly, and we can play the standard and all good.
Yeah. So play a bit more normal, not have any displacements, not have any chaos, and force eXon-black to look for a more traditional team fight of ETC slide Malfruits, but then that leaves ETC exposed, and that's when Johanna hopefully will be able to provide the zoning and appeal. Reyna picked up by Halcyon and Anna there, Lord Evening. Anna Ming still as big a threat as ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't ban Anna. It might be that they're planning on something else here, which the Leoric would interrupt. And so instead they sort of said, we want the better off lane maybe. But, the Anna Ming is so powerful, especially if you get the one kill with the nano boost, it's going to be tough. And there's the Imperious Hanzo. I mean, I'm not sure about my off-lane meta. I'm not sure if Leo's sort of incredibly much better than Imperious because of his additional wave clear. But yeah, it's a pretty good rounded team here for eXon-black.
Yeah, but even if Leoric does beat Imperious, like it's not so big a map for like solo lane control. I think there's the objective fight is perhaps more important as Blank picks up Thrall for that off lane against the Imperious.
Yeah, and I wonder what Thrall will now take on level 1. I've seen some variations of all sort of the picks of the Chain Lightning. We may see Crash Lightning if he's feeling a little bit spicy. But we see a very sort of normal team here on the side of Hype PEW as well. So their camp clear is a little bit weaker, obviously not having the Greymane and the Hanzo, but their team fight certainly does pack a punch.
Yeah, so I think the Crash Lightning, like you mentioned, that it has been seeing a decent amount of popularity on Volskaya only, really. But we did see it get picked up on Volskaya Foundry in the first Division S match of the new season, I believe, of Division S Season 2. The Crash Lightning was picked up. So, it is something that high-level players are considering in the right circumstances. Here on Volskaya is the best place for it because of those long, sustained objective fights. But there's no time for me to yap on about that because we're going to go into game number 1 in this best of 3 series. So, on the left, in blue, we have Hype PEW with the Octa playing Joanna, Halcyon on Reyna, Heiser on Li Ming, Lord Evening on Anna, and Black on Thrall.
And on the red team, we have Greymane, played by Zotti, Dejoxy on Hanzo, Phoenix on Malfurion, Bean1CE on Imperius, and the Dark Wolf, rounding off the composition on the Cow, ETC.
So I always think about that Imperius player. I always never know whether to pronounce it Be Nice or Bean Once. But you know, I still don't know the answer. I'm so sure somebody's told me in the Twitch chat once upon a time.
I think it's B1 Common Era.
That could be the answer. So level 1 talents are in. You know, Prog Rock 3TC, fairly standard. Going for the Rejuve on Mouth, the Rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting. So I mean, what do you make of that? Isn't it the Innovate talent quite commonly picked as well?
So I'd say, in this situation, personally, I mean, I've only played Malfurion a couple of times, but I'd usually go the Moonfire talent. You know, you get that additional damage. Maybe he doesn't want to step up too far forward against the Johanna, but the Innovate as well with the Hanzo. But I think in Div 1, you know, their mana management is fairly good, so it's all fine. I think Phoenix just perhaps feels he might be taking a little bit of additional poke here and there from maybe the Thrall Chain Lightning, so just wants that extra bit of healing to top himself up.
By the way, you were absolutely right. Did you see the timing on these camps? Both teams finished their turret camps at exactly the same time. Really well disciplined. And if you consider that, of course, ETC does not have anywhere like the wave clear of Joanna when he's standing soaking. The fact that they both managed to keep even on the soak and get those camps at their identical times. Well played, good discipline from both of these teams.
Yeah, and now you see the off-laner, solo laner, coming up as well to contest. We've got a 5v4 at the top because Imperius has this worst wave clear. So now there's a 5v4 at the top. Thrall having to clear out middle. They're now posturing around the support camp. But Hype PEW not taking advantage of the 4v5. Or, I mean, I'd say eXon-black were disciplined and staying back.
Yeah, playing fairly safe, not trying to risk anything just yet. Playing, but level 4 talents are in for both teams. Li Ming going for the Triumvirate. Nowadays, you see that as the most common pick for sure. But I just want to talk about the Frostwolf pack from Thrall. I love that the dog stacks, as I call it. Who let the dogs out? So if he gets up to 6 stacks on those, which he can usually do pretty easily on the objective fight. Oh, a DTC goes in for a slide, doesn't quite catch onto Ming. If he can catch those stacks, then it's very impactful.
Absolutely, and on these long objectives, he can get it fairly quickly. I mean, he's already got 2 out of 6 right now here on the bottom lane, just hitting Imperius. You know, there's some big hitboxes on the side of eXon-black, so why not hit them with a wolf? Yeah,
and that's exactly what they're going to do. Hanzo looks like he's gone for the full Stormbow build so far. The target practice and the explosive arrows at level 4. So how do the teams play this? It looks like eXon-black already getting that timer ticking. Now, the question is, will Hype PEW try to force on this healing cap? I doubt it, given that Grayman's going to be sniffing it out. And they're not going to allow it. But that means it's basically 3 ticks on the objective for now for eXon-black.
Yeah, it is absolutely 3 ticks. But, you know, they're looking like they're going to threaten this top wall, maybe. But they've definitely got a large wave, so they know that they can come down now while Greymane's dealing with that. Oh, in fact, they're going for the support camp. You know, they've seen Hanzo down at the bottom lane trying to attack Thrall. So, you know, they was like, you know, if you're going to go down and try and gank Thrall, we're going to take the support camp. And that'll put them at that level 7 now advantage, just by a tiny bit, which gives the crucial Calamity, the Night Terrors, and the Unstable Compound from Reyna. These are some essential level 7 talents on the side of Hype PEW, which they've now got, so they can now wrestle over, which unfortunately is at 98% as well on the objective. That means there's no instant catback on the side of eXon-black.
Lovely play there from Hype PEW, and I love the reaction time. They smelled Hanzo going to that bottom lane. Immediately they were all over that support camp, got it done quickly, and they knew they had enough time to get there with the objective still only on 98%. As Joanna goes in, puts pressure onto ETC, he's got to be careful there, down to 1/3 HP. Greymane's the one in real trouble though, and Li Ming secures the kill. Now looking to catch a orb onto ETC as well, but the Dark Wolf escapes. Imperius though, not so lucky, and he's going to fall.
Yeah, and that was well played from Hype PEW. They the Thrall gank from the Thrall flank from the side, finishing off that that Frostwolf quest on level 4 as well, and just locking them down just so that Ming could clean up afterwards. Nicely done here by HyPew.
And the timing with it as well, just like late enough to secure them the protector. You know, so it's 100 to 98 on the protector, but in this map you don't get anything for second place, no matter how close you are. And Greymane will have to go and start clearing that protector, while eXon-black get nothing for themselves.
eXon-black though putting pressure on the backline, well, on the front backline here on the Octa 4v1b. You know, they're ignoring the protector for the most part. I think they realise perhaps, you know, they're going to get the well whatever we do. So we might as well give them that and try and put some pressure elsewhere. But yeah, so now they're just clearing waves. Hopefully going to try and get level 10 sort of not too late after HyPew. And clear out the objective as well as they can.
Yeah, the objective though has got the front wall top, it's got the front wall mid, and it's got that well top, which as we know is so impactful for that second objective phase, which will come up in a few minutes. But look at this XP difference. That's the real sting in the tail here. It's a 3/4 of a level XP lead now for Imperius rooted. The wave of force though doesn't quite knock him back.
Oh, and ETC here coming in on the back line. Ooh, but there's been sniffed out, and Thrall puts some pressure on. But Thrall has now got CC'd after CC'd, and the Twilight Dream finishes him off. A committed Twilight Dream, knowing that the objective's not going to be for a long time, and he will have it back. But that kill is going to be ever so important in gaining momentum.
Yeah, lovely rotation there from eXon-black. And now they go with the Hanzo arrow onto Reyna. Halcyon's completely zoned out, tries to turn and put a bit of pressure onto ETC and Hanzo to try and force the back. And it's worked! It's worked with the backing of Anna's healing. Halcyon's Reyna has scared off his 3 would-be gankers.
I mean, all he needed to do was be hype and just pew with that Reyna.
That's absolutely their team motto for sure, as Joanna goes forward and steps up and gets that soap. Yeah, and it looked like, as we said, eXon-black tried to seize the initiative knowing that Thrall was dead, but they just couldn't quite, because Reyna was just safe enough to get to those towers, but still just edgy enough to threaten them back far enough. Oh, the Joxy!
Big combo there on Hanzo.
That Li Ming combo. That's going to be a real threat though, because you know, if they've been warmed up and that happens, that's going to be a kill, and when that's a kill, it's a reset, and there's going to be a real problem. And Mouth doesn't have necessarily the burst healing if he's not near the enemy. If he can't moonfire the enemy, he's not going to be providing that kind of burst protection for the Joxy.
HyPew going for their second attempt on the support camp now after eXon-black got their own turret, and now eXon-black are going for the HyPew turret after knowing that they're going for the support camp. So they're going to get this. This is nice and cheeky, but the Octa is coming in for the flanking position, scared off by the Dark Wolf. Wow, well played here by eXon-black.
Yeah, I love the reactions, and we talked about the great reactions of HyPew earlier when they smelled hands in the bottom lane. I love this from eXon-black. As soon as they felt that HyPew were in the top taking that healing camp, they went and they invaded, secured themselves a turret and a little bit of XP. Still, on balance, the healing camp feels like the better end of that trade.
It can do, certainly. But, you know, if you're wanting to get some kills, two turrets is never going to be bad. Oh, and the arrow onto the Anna, and she goes down instantaneously. She can't even move. So much CC going onto that Anna player. Well done by eXon-black.
Yeah, I love this lockdown and burst that eXon-black are playing, and they coordinate it so nicely. It feels like when they find that CC on somebody, the first one, the rest of them follow in with great timings. We've seen the Malfruit, the Imperious Skewer to follow, and the burst that comes out from Greymane usually, and with the help of Hanzo, secures that kill. And don't forget, they will be both level 13 for this objective now, and so the advantage that HyPew had earlier on in this game seems to have slightly melted away. Of course, they still have that healing fountain advantage, which may be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've yet to see the Nano Ming pop off. I think eXon-black have been doing very well to find the picks and, you know, making sure that they are in charge of the rotations. But HyPew, when there is 5, they might be able to do something very well. And here comes the team fight. You know, there's Earthquake's gone out, ETC is going low, and they're trying to chase down this Imperious, but eXon-black beautifully done and peeling away. But Zotti's going to go down. Oh no!
The dodge, though, the dodge of Li Ming, but it's just not enough. Now the mosh pit comes in, hits 2, but immediately interrupted by Reyna. Now the Dark Wolf's under a bit of trouble for himself. There's 2 healing items out here for High Pew Pew as they secure that kill onto Malfurion at the back line. ETC trying to stand in, but he's fighting against the 2 healing fountains. It's not quite going to work. And for now, it's 1 kill apiece, and both teams playing a bit cautious.
Goodness me, that was impressive, aggressive lockdown here from High Pew Pew, going right underneath the fort, but it just didn't quite pay off. The Ming went down so early that they were only able to confirm the kill on the Malfurion, with Greymane getting away with a sliver of health. But here, it doesn't look good for ETC. Oh, but he gets away with a little bit of a power slide.
So I think there were 2 crucial factors in that fight. One is the initial Blessed Shield missed from the Octa. If that hit, that could have been quite different. And the other factor was the turnaround Hanzo arrow into the face of the High Pew Pew coming in. That really put a stop on their engage attempt, and of course threatened Ming. Ming managed actually to dodge their Hanzo arrow, but the rest of them didn't, and the kill was secured onto Ming. And of course the team don't mean a thing if it ain't got that Ming, as eXon-black go to contest the objective.
Yeah, eXon-black with almost all their heroics back up as well. High Pew Pew, only 10 seconds left really until they have Hyperion once again. They'll help zone out, but eXon-black going for this healing item. It's been scattered out with the sleep dart, but no one's going to be able to do anything there. They're not in position, and that Dark Wolf on ETC has been ever so deadly at punishing these people who just step up a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think this is really nice here from eXon-black to really bring themselves back into this game, looking quite confident now, where they struggled a little bit in that first objective fight. Again, we have seen the Nano-Ming, but we've not really seen it get the full value that we were expecting yet, because the lockdown and picks from eXon-black have been so critical.
Yeah, and we see the Division 1 play here, which is our enemy team have the objective. We can't quite push in yet because we don't have 16, but they can't come off it because they know we'll come and take it. So we'll get mid-4, and now they've got mid-4, and they can't just obliterate ETC. He's gone, Greymane's gone, and look like they've got a good steady hand on this objective, Karis.
Yeah, wow, that damage onto ETC, he just disappeared, didn't he? And I mean, this is the thing, you know, I often say about ETC is he can be a little bit flimsy as a tank, but you know, he really felt, I think, because he is the tank, he could position a little bit far forwards. Heiser, got to be careful. Wants the Jijok to kill, comes in with a teleport, but Be Nice is there with a skewer, doesn't care, dodges out.
Yeah, Lord Evening now with the Ana active reload, able to top up Heiser at any point, and of course the Smelling Salts removing any sort of Imperious stun. So you know, this is the power of the late game Ana Ming combo. She can play this aggressive style, trying to get these little picks on Hanzo, and know that the Ana's gonna, that trust in Lord Evening. Very good banner play here from Lord Evening, although ETC coming in with the slide now, but the shields, oh, in the mosh pit.
It's hit 2 members. Of course, the robot can't get affected by it, but it's still the 2 members standing there, Joanna and the Ana, both affected, Joanna and Ana. And so Ana does go down. Joanna, of course, is a bit more tanky and can survive it, but Li Ming's got to be careful here. And we'll sit back for now. So a nice counterplay there from what looked like, you know, I would have been saying, don't go in, we've got nothing to fight for, the keep's already down. But yeah, lovely momentum from eXon-black. That, you know, they're very audacious and very confident, and they're willing to take the fight to High Pew Pew again, and dare I say it, again.
Yeah, it's one of those important things to pay attention to of who is in the Protector, because if that Ana's standing right next to the Protector, but there's no Johanna next to her, she's free game, and eXon-black showed that. I feel so bad because I was complimenting Lord Evening, and the caster curses, as soon as you compliment someone, they get picked out instead.
Yeah, well, I think she felt safe because there was a big robot next to her, and who wouldn't feel safe in the arms of a big robot? But the reality is that the shield from the robot is not enough and peel to deal with the ETC mosh pit onslaught that they had to deal with. Of course, we know about that lockdown that eXon-black are executing so well time and time again. Level 18 to level 17, 1 level lead, and a keep up for High Pew Pew, but is by no means over. eXon-black really want to take this fight before the level 20s are in, and so they're going to the healing camp to force it if they can.
Yeah, eXon-black just, I think, need a team fight, a good opportunity. And here's a big stun with the Nano-Ming as well. If that goes down, that's great play. But Hanzo goes down in the backline instead, and that means the Ming is able to escape. Halcyon pew-pewing on the backline here, trying to get this Imperious down. But Blank is going ham on the Malfurion instead.
This
Ooh,
is...
what a cleanup crew.
It's not even over yet, as Greyman goes in, tries to catch the Ming, but 120 HP is all you need. Oh my days, beautiful play from Heiser to secure another kill and make it 4-1. Brilliant coordination from here from PEW. And this should be game here as they march towards that core with 4 people alive to 1. And I think it's going to be all she wrote as they march on this core. I mean, so in that fight, ETC, Greyman and Imperius went in so deep for that Ana, they got it. But that meant that Blank on the Thrall just got free real estate, and he just pushed Mouth back and back and back, and suddenly there was no healer there for the teammates. And that's going to be GG, well played. It's 1-0 up to PEW in this best of 3.
Fantastic play. I think if that Hanzo hadn't gone down so quickly, Li Ming would have also died. But because she got that reset, she was able to pop off and keep alive herself. Wow, well played from PEW.
Brilliant performance from PEW. But I mean, you got to say credit to eXon-black there in, what was a close game until that final fight, and everything apart from that final fight was really tense, really back and forth. If you look at the final scores, it was 10 kills to 5 in favor of PEW. That sounds like double the kills, but really that's only a kill difference of 5, and 4 of those were in the final fight. So really, it was a very close game until that point. And
yeah, it really was. I mean, just before that fight, I was saying all that eXon-black need is a fight at the right time that they win, because they were winning the fights, they were just not at the right time. And I think it showed that PEW they won the fights when they needed to, and perhaps that sort of shows their little bit of the additional skill they have perhaps over eXon-black that have sort of just put them a little bit ahead in this the league at the moment. But it's certainly very close between these two teams.
Yeah, and I think it could really go either way in this series. Given the confidence that we saw from eXon-black, we saw that their lockdown and burst was so sharp. And credit to Blank on the Thrall, who really saw the way around that was to run past the front line and threaten the backliners of eXon-black. Having said that, I think there were still 3 forts up for PEW, so they weren't really under structural threat. And also the way they drafted, and if you look at the kind of their talent picks and stuff like that, you had the Li Ming with the Aubrey set at 4, and the Thrall with the dog stacks at 4, and the percentage damage at 16. If, let's say, eXon-black had won a late game protector, I think PEW wouldn't have had too much difficulty cleaning it up with that Li Ming and Thrall damage.
Yeah, it's very true, especially with the triumvirate on level 4. You can just get that sort of Aubrey set all day, every day on that protector, just going pop, 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 and slowly it goes down. It really does matter to make sure you've got some sort of defense mechanism against the protector as well. I think eXon-black did have that with Hanzo and Greymane, but yeah, it just just meant that they weren't able to to win the objectives as well.
Yeah, and just a nice performance here from PEW. Razor sharp execution. Here, so what's happened now is the map has been picked up by eXon-black. So for those of you who are not so familiar with Heroes Lounge rules, the way it works is when you lose when you lose a game, you then have the choice for the next game whether you want first pick or map pick. And here, eXon-black have gone for map pick, and they've gone for Battlefield of Eternity. So that's where we're going to be going for game number 2 in this best of 3.
And it was one of those maps we were talking about earlier about it's a popular one up in Div 1. And here we are, we're here again. eXon-black picked it yesterday as well against Xenon, or at least it was played against Xenon.
Yeah, Now in that game they didn't win. They lost that overall. Although I seem to remember it was a fairly close ending to that game, even if the whole series was, let's say, less close. So I think there is a real chance here for eXon-black to show why they like this map and really bring out their strategy. And of course, it is quite different from Volskaya. It's a bit less about rotations and camp timings and stuff, but Immortal Race is going to be so crucial in the draft, isn't it?
It is indeed, and I think that Li Ming is going to be contested. last game, it was very impactful from Heiser. Doing very good stuff. And I think it's a pick that eXon-black also like here on BOE. It's good for chunking away at the Immortal. If you hit a hero and the Immortal at the same time with the reset Triumvirate on level 4, you're doing well. And we're going into the draft here, Karis.
Game number 2 in this best of 3 series. And on the left is Hype PEW, and on the right is eXon-black. And you can get your points bets in now, !bet A, and a number of points to bet on Hype PEW for game number 2. !bet B, and a number of points to bet on eXon-black, the red team. And the first ban is going to be coming in shortly, and you've got 5 minutes left to bet. And what do points make transparent?
Prizes! Well,
yeah, but they don't actually make prizes. Don't hold us to
that. No, unfortunately not. But that if you were Bruce Forsyth, maybe it would have done. Sadly not, but we're still waiting on this first ban. They're having a good think about this on the side of Hype PEW. Maybe they're thinking, do we ban the Yellow Axe, do we not? But we're going to ban the ETC. That was such a menace on the side of eXon-black. The Dark Wolf played that incredibly well. Although he got blown up a couple of times, he was instrumental in getting the pickoffs that kept them in the game as much as they did. And DEATHWING now banned out. That standard little ban? He is annoying. We're going to get rid of him.
Do you think now that eXon-black might ban Joanna, given the ETC's already been banned out? Are they going to look to try and deny a tank in response on the side of eXon-black, or are they going to focus the ban on maybe something more immortal focused, like a Valor or Li Ming, for example?
I feel like it might be the Li Ming. It was so instrumental with getting a lot of resets, and it's very contested on this map that actually just getting rid of Li Ming, it's beneficial. If we can't have her, no one can. There's other heroes, obviously. Hanzo is in play, but I think the Li Ming Ana is just so powerful that you have to at least think about it when drafting.
The Mouth ban, and bear in mind, it was eXon-black who took Mouth last game, right? But banning that Mouth means, Li Ming Ana is open, for example. Obviously, they can't take both of them right now in this phase, and it may be that they're planning to take the Ana themselves on the side of eXon-black, but yeah, that's a slightly surprising ban, isn't it?
It is slightly surprising, and it could well be that we're going to see Alarak Ana maybe, because you can't let Hype PEW have Ana now. They have Li Ming. If you let them have Ana Li Ming, you have to either have this incredible back dive comp or something like that. You might go like something like Mal'Ganis and Greymane now and try and just think, we're just going to run into their team and try and kill them instantly before they get any sort of opportunity. But no, we see the Ana and we see the Hanzo. So yeah, instead going for a little bit more backline here against the Li Ming.
Yeah, so this is playing a bit more traditional here on the side of eXon-black. Now, there's still loads of immortal. I would expect to see a Greymane coming out for one of these teams, surely. For given that we saw the Greymane be very impactful in game number 1 for eXon-black, but also here on for the immortal, it gives a lot of that race potential. But I think a tank pick might come out, and it is the Tyrael. But is that an offlane Tyrael? Because Blank's picked it up.
Ooh, it could be. And that usually means that there's some sort of auto attacker going on, and I reckon there's going to be a butcher ban now, maybe. Or something like that. You think if you have an offlane or the hammer, yeah, some sort of auto attacker. Someone just pointed out in the chat that someone could have gone Oriole with Rez, and yeah, we've not seen Oriole this series at all. I think it's just now with that extra 1 second. If Li Ming's in play, Li Ming has the Wave of Force to interrupt the res, or the Li Ming just gets way too many resets and you're not able to get the res off in time. But yeah, it's interesting that she's not been picked up at all.
The Garrosh ban, but that leaves a few key tank players open.
Yeah.
What is the tank answer here, do you think, for eXon-black? Assuming the Tyrael is main tank, but as we say, it could be an offlane. What do you go for? Do you go for a Muradin? Do you go for, a noob maybe to dive the Ming? Something like that?
Yeah, I was thinking just play it standard, go with Muradin. They've shown it before on this map as well. And the Alarak as well to round off is very nice. I think the Garrosh ban was sort of especially to say we want to play Tyrael with Sanctification. That taunt is very good at interrupting Sanctification. Usually you're right next to each other anyway, and the taunt is instant, the Warlord's Challenge. So, but the Muradin Alarak is a nice little pickup, and it's pretty handy. You get additional stuns as well with the Dragon's Arrow. You can do very good stuff and get a good combo with Alarak.
Genji, now there you go. You don't see him every day these days, but he's definitely can still be impactful in the right hands. And rounded off with an Anub'arak main tank from Octa. So it is going to be that Tyrael offlane. Talk to me about the Genji.
I think, you see that they have Hanzo and Ana, and Muradin's their only peel currently. Maybe you could say Alarak's peel as well. You think, I reckon I can kill an Ana. I reckon I can kill a Hanzo pretty quickly. And maybe, me saying it was Sanctification, maybe we might have Judgment.
Uther is absolutely the right pickup here from... I absolutely endorse that pickup from the offlaner there. It'd be nice. Going for the Uther offlane, that will provide more CC for the Genji that Muradin would have really struggled with. And for the Tyrael as well, don't forget. But also, he's just a solid bruiser who can just trade nicely as well. So, a great pickup there, I think, from eXon-black to round off the draft.
There's definitely not a lot of race potential on the side of eXon-black. They have Hanzo, who's sort of pretty good at times, but in terms of overall race, you've got nothing else on top of Hanzo. Maybe you could say that Muradin with Sledgehammer could also contribute, but on the other side, on PEW, they've got Ming, who's pretty good. We've got Rhaegar, pretty good. Tyrael, who can buff attack speed. Genji, who can do some sort of little nifty tricks with some shurikens. And Anub'arak, who's not a low damage tank at all. So I definitely think that this is going to be an interesting sort of push and shove of trying to get control and also some race at the same time between these two teams.
Well, we'll have to see what happens as we go into game number 2, and there's best of 3 Division 1 matchup. And in blue on the left, we have PEW with Heiser on Li Ming again. The Octa on the Anub'arak. Lord Evening on Rhaegar. Halcyon on the Genji. And Blank on Tyrael.
And on the side of eXon Esports, eXon-black, we have Zoti on Hanzo, Dejoxy on Alarak, Phoenix on Ana, Uther being played by Be Nice. And of course we have Muradin being played by the Dark Wolf here on the main tank. Trying to show off a little bit again, see if you get those stuns that you got with ETC, but instead on a Dwarf.
So, level 1 talents. Li Ming going for the Force Armor here. Now, to me that makes a lot of sense because the Alarak is going to be hunting for Ming if he can find her. And if he gets his combo off, she wants to have 50 spell armor for sure to try and deal with that. So do you think there's going to be a strategy of trying to clear that spell armor with Hanzo poke and that sort of thing by eXon-black?
Yeah, I think a little bit, certainly. Those scatter arrows are very good at poking away, but I think it also might be a little bit of a strategy of we don't want to actually fight underneath the Immortal at all. And Li Ming's orbs are just out of that range of danger, so having that additional mana regen that Force Armor also provides now just means that they can be in a very safe location. Oh, but Anub'arak gets the stun, gets the silence, and gets slept as well, and that's a little bit of a chunk of his XP. HP going, and eXon-black showing here that they mean business, and they're not here to back down, and they'll chunk people when they want to.
I like this, by the way, again, because we talked about it in game number 1 on Volsky, and here the reactions on the camps. Genji rotated top, so immediately eXon-black go to take the bottom camp. In response, PEW take the top camp. So, like, really sharp map awareness from both these teams, immediately reacting to secure camps. And both teams fairly even on everything so far, with not much to play for. And Muradin running at 1 Stormbolt stack, and of course he needs 25 to get the reduced cooldown and the pierce.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a gank coming up here at the top from Dejoxy, but Halcyon 4v1 stayed up here all the way, and Octa has come in for the body blocks, and that's a lot of damage coming in, but Halcyon's gone a bit too deep, but Uther still goes down.
Just great control there with the body blocks from Octa and Blank, just shutting the door, because Uther sidestepped to the side just to dodge that initial Anub'arak engage, and the result was he could be... Anub'arak and Tyrael said, look, we're just going to be a wall here, get in the way. Great play from PEW there, as both teams go to start their Bruiser camp on the 2-minute 30 mark. And
Yeah.
they should be able to get those comfortably just before the objective and get them rolling in both lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got to think, you know, what's the wave clear like for both of these teams? How are they going to clear these camps? And the answer is neither of them are particularly great. They'll have to commit probably a DPS to the off lane as well to try and clean up these camps. So I expect this first phase might be quite slow or incredibly fast. It'll be one of those two.
Okay, but it won't be medium speed. That's the one thing we know.
No, I don't think so at all. And the Ox has shown that he might want to go in a little bit, but Li Ming gets stunned, but nice blink away to prevent the combo coming out from Dejoxy.
Yeah, so a slight hesitation on the telekinesis from Dejoxy just stopped that Li Ming from getting comboed. As Dark Wolf goes round, gets his second wind rolling, going to heal himself up nicely, and then they should be able to contest this Immortal. Maybe get a touch of damage on it, but I think it seems like, yeah, HypePew want to take this fight. It is favourable for HypePew under this Immortal.
I mean, they're only 4v5 at the moment under this because Tyrios had to take so long cleaning out that. But there's a big combo on Hydra at the moment and the sleep as well. This is going to be possibly lights out for Ming, but no, Octa's gone in instead. And now that Tyrios here as well, they have the answer. And the big orb on the hand in the back, finding the place. And now they're going to try and get some resets here.
Yeah, and now they're looking for more. Can they catch the Dark Wolf? No, he jumps to safety. Alrak sensibly steps back as well. But this gives so much space here for HypePew to secure this first half of this Immortal. And honestly, they've probably got the better overall race anyway. So this may well translate into a full Immortal. But I think they've not committed the full resources, and in response, actually a counter pick on Anubrak, which I didn't quite catch on camera. But yeah, Anubrak gets picked off by a nice response there from eXon-black. Maybe they can catch Tyrael. No, he's got the Eldruin's Might. Steps aside. And yes, there's an Immortal lead for HypePew, but they did lose a hero.
Yeah, they did indeed. And now it looks like Lord Evening is going to go down as well. Raykar just finding himself caught out. This is incredible aggressive play here from the side of eXon-black. You know, they had to indeed, because as we said, they've got no race. But Tyrael is looking like he might go down as well. Oh, he blinks out just beforehand as well. Oh, and he's gone down. He's not got much HP. He's only got shields, pretty much.
Yeah,
oh, he goes down.
He finally gets picked off by the Uther damage. This is the great pickup of this Uther here. Oh, maybe they catch Genji here, the stun. Oh, but Halcyon sensibly gets his deflect off and gets out of there. So, great.
Ooh.
Anubrak burrowed in. That's confidence. The cleanse, though. The cleanse from Lord Evening is not enough, and that Anubrak will fall. That's the thing with Anubrak, you've got to be careful when you burrow in. If the enemy's got CC, you can get really punished. And there's one thing that Uther and Muradin have, it's CC. So
yeah, I think Oxa felt like he had to go in to try and save the Li Ming. And it just means that they've had to fall. But, of course, with that all the commitment that they made with some of the kills, and there's a kill down on the bottom lane.
Yeah. A nice reaction from HypePew. There's so much going on in this game. They're going to put pressure on the bot lane because they knew being down Anubrak, they couldn't push top. Nice silence here from Dejoxy, but he's not going to be able to take a kill against 4 members. 5 even as Anubrak comes to join the cavalry. There's a rotation here from eXon-black trying to respond, trying to keep Dejoxy alive, keep his sadism intact. But the Dark Wolf in so deep, can they finish the job? Down to a quarter HP, doesn't have the jump available just yet. There's the cleanse. Can he survive long enough? Yes, he can.
Big jump. Genji not able to land the Swift Strike on the Dark Wolf here. Oh, just missing that confirmation, but instead they're going to go and try and get this fort, but they've not got any minions left. They have a Nubrak, obviously, they have a totem, but it doesn't quite go down, and there's a big stun and a big silence onto the Nubrak as well, but the follow-up's not quite there, not yet, but the dwarf squashes that bug.
Imagine if you were a beetle and then a dwarf just jumped on your head. How would you feel? How would you feel, Transparent?
Oh, I just want to burrow away. That's all I'd want to do.
You just want to go scuttle, scuttle, scuttle. This is phenomenal play from both teams. I love the aggression here, the momentum that this game has. Both teams showing a lot of enthusiasm to fight, to constantly put pressure, try and find those picks. And the reason is this draft, where both teams really have quite an aggressive dive and potentially some squishy backliners. So whereas Alarak, Uther and Muradin are looking to try and catch Ming out, on the other side, Anubrak, Tyrael, and Genji are trying to catch Ana out and trying to catch Hanzo out. Anubrak burrows in, doesn't quite catch onto the Muradin, who jumps out sensibly. Blank throws the Eldruin for safety, ready to teleport out, jumps out just in time. Silence not there.
So the one thing that we can see that PEW have been doing so well is just making sure they get structure damage whenever they can. They've been chipping away at the external structures of eXon-black, and we see that bottom fort is very low. They didn't overcommit to try and get it just now, and the top one obviously went down a little bit to the Immortal. So they've been playing really well, but so have eXon-black, and level 10 is here now, and this means there's a whole new ball game completely. We have the Dragon's Arrow, the Counter-Strike, the Nano Boost, and Uther is waiting to see if he wants D-Shield or D-Storm, and Muradin's gone in!
The jump in! He had the Avatar available, there's the hand tower, but the cleanse was so clutch onto Octa, so he's still alive, manages to burrow out to safety. The cocoon onto Uther's gonna stop the cap. Is Ming gonna steal it? No, she's not, because the Uther's just come out of the cocoon in time. Be Nice versus Highs on the point. Li Ming can't win in a melee fight versus an Uther, can she? She's threatened Uther off the point. In the meantime, Anubrak's been picked off, but he's caught the Alarak and the Ana. But now there's a big chase on Blank trying to catch onto Muradin. He has the Avatar up. Uther's been picked off by Ming and Genji, and this is an absolute disaster here from eXon-black, who looked like they had the perfect engage.
Yeah, they absolutely did, but Uther not being able to pick D-Shield, he's gone D-Storm instead, thinking about the long game in the long run, but with PEW picking up level 10, they're able to get the cocoon, which I think shut down a lot of what eXon-black were trying to do. And it just meant that they kept diving, and they kept diving, and they kept going, and they picked up a lot. You know, if you risk it on the invade, you risk a lot. And unfortunately, eXon-black here, they lost it.
They risked it for a biscuit. And now there's maybe... Oh, but is this a kill onto Rhaegar? Falling so low. The minus healing grenade from Ana is absolutely crucial. Dark Wolf goes in, gets the double stun onto Genji. And the combo from Alarak to follow up. So perfect from Dejoxy. They want Li Ming. She's out of mana. They've got the Immortal. There's the stun. Is it going to be Ming? One teleport. There's the hand arrow, but Dark Wolf wasn't ready to follow up. They're going for Anubrak instead. It's 2 kills for nothing, but it is an Immortal going over to hype Pew Pew.
And that was an incredible Division 1 shot calling there. Just in that last moment there where Li Ming was very low on health, but someone obviously said Anubrak, and so Dark Wolf completely ignored the Li Ming and went for Anubrak instead, and they get the lockdown, get the kill, and now they get the fairly free clear on this first Immortal Shield. But the Judgment is sneaking around. Don't get caught out by Judgment.
Yeah, there's always a chance of a flank here. Blank thinking about it. He finds the Judgment onto Hanzo. Dark Wolf there to peel. Hanzo's still alive for now. Carefully dodging that Li Ming orb, and will step aside for now. So far, no kills from that Judgment. But still, this Immortal marches on.
Absolutely. And we're going to have to wait until another big team fight, I'm sure, later. But they're still posturing around. These two teams are chasing each other around the map. The one problem that PEW now have is that they've got nothing to take that's in a safe-ish position. If they want to try and take some sneaky structures, they have to go all the way into the enemy team. And despite this being a 2-lane map, it's quite broad. So it's a long old way home, and I'm sure that a Dragon's Arrow will catch up with you soon enough if you stay for too long.
Hello, Muradin, you've got to be careful here. Lovely Stormbolt, it might help him get away. The jump doesn't quite go over the wall, but he's going to be okay for now. That was a potential gank there. Well dodged by the Dark Wolf. So, level 13s are just arriving for both teams. The double fort advantage will gradually trickle in bonus XP for hype PEW, but it's not an insurmountable advantage by any stretch. In fact, I don't think eXon-black are too worried about it, as there's a nice little thunderclap onto Blank. So level 13s are in for eXon-black. They've got the Ninja Assassin onto Hanzo, so he's going to give himself more of the natural agility, give himself a bit more mobility there. Alarak going for that right of Rakshir. If they can find a pick with that on, it's juicy days. But there was a pick onto Uther at the bot lane, and that will allow the hype PEW to push forwards. But lovely combo from Dejoxy's Alarak, really threatening the blue team here.
Yeah, Dejoxy here now on 102 sadism. You know, he's trying to get as many kills as he can. And he's got the right of Rakshir as well now, so maybe he'll try and pick up a few extra stacks with that. But he has to be really careful with the lockdown, with Judgment, and Anubrak. You have to be very careful as an Alarak. If you step too far forward, it could be lights out for you.
Lovely invade here from hype PEW, goes in to secure the camp. Dark Wolf, is he going to contest it? He jumps in, the Hanzo Arrow's there to follow up. The cocoon though secures the camp. Though Genji's got to be careful because he's silenced. Octa falling pretty low on the Anubrak, but the Ancestral comes out, tops up Blank. The Dejoxy, will he fall? The sadism's gone down. Alarak, but Anubrak's gone down in response. The cleanse onto Tyrael will allow him to step away for now. Heiser on the Li Ming, throws a volley, but Muradin's so relentless. The Dark Wolf wants to catch that kill onto Blank, but Blank's material. He's got a Rhaegar backing him up, and that's given space to Genji to go in the back line and try and pick off his brother Hanzo. But the turnaround, the lockdown from Uther. Uther's always there threatening the Genji. Can Halcyon survive out of this? The stuns are there. Dark Wolf's out of mana. I don't think he can put the pressure onto Genji as Genji goes chasing. Uther's got to sit back. They want the Rhaegar as well. This is end-to-end football here. They're going for the Rhaegar. Can he get away? I think he can. And for now, it's just one kill apiece. But wow, what a play from both of these teams.
It's incredible. I'm surprised that PEW didn't pick up Azmodan to go in this comp, because the amount of greed they're showing would have just been incredible. I mean, they're trying to pick off these Hanzos in the backline with Ming and Genji, and they're getting away with it because the rest of the team come and give them some support. The PEW living on the edge here.
Oh no, but I have to say, this Uther pick has been so impactful here, because when Muradin goes diving, when he goes fishing for those backline kills, it's Uther who's saving those backliners of his own team time and time again. And the threat of that Uther stun on Genji is so much that Halcyon's got to be so razor careful here, walking on a knife edge. Halcyon goes in, throws a few shurikens out for now, and both of these teams will posture up. But, of course, Alarak did lose his sadism in that last fight, down to 90. That will affect his damage. Here comes the judgment onto him.
But the cleanse after also the telekinesis, he gets out in a little bit of distance, but the big Divine Storm on the backline, the Ancestral comes out instead, but now with the nano boosted Alarak trying to get as much damage as he can, but he's going to go down instead. Genji now with the X-Strike trying to disrupt the remainder of eXon-black, and they're still fighting. They're still trying to go. Dark Wolf now trying to smash away at Genji, but instead Heiser's smashing back. That was a tense fight there, managing to get the kill onto Alarak now that he didn't have any sadism anyway because he died previously. A desperate attempt perhaps to try and get a bit of momentum, but it favours PEW.
Phenomenal stuff again, and the fact that they're getting these kills onto Alarak, it shows that he's the target they want. They're not going directly for that Ana because they know that if Alarak is left unattended, he could be a serious security threat for the PEW, and they're really trying to lock him down. The problem is they don't actually have that much lockdown after the judgment's out and the Anubrak's done his burrow. So if he can survive that initial onslaught, maybe he can get away with more. And of course, in the meantime, as we're seeing again and again, Muradin going in so deep, providing so much value.
Yeah, I think it's been really nice to watch Heiser play Li Ming here as well, because he almost plays Li Ming like a frontliner. They're quite often all in the same place on the side of PEW, but Tyriel's gone in with a sanctification. But the judgment. Oh, and Uther's going to go down here instead. Halcyon on the backline trying to get a Hanzo. Li Ming takes the kill as well, but Joxy just trying to run away with his life.
This is absolutely insane. 3 members down. I don't think Joxy could do anything, even with the help of this Muradin on the dark. Played by Dark Wolf. I think he might get body blocked out here. The body blocks by Oxa. Does he have the jump available? The clap heals. Can you survive for a couple more ticks? He can! He can! Played by Dark Wolf. What a ballerina here by the Dwarf play.
Yeah, the healing static hitting, I think, 4 or 5 heroes, both with its initial hit and the Thunderburn. Very well played here from the Dark Wolf. Fully trying to bait.
It's a huge immortal now for PEW. This has got half a shield. It's going to cut through this keep so fast. It's a really tough situation for eXon-black, but I mean, yeah, credit to the Dark Wolf Muradin, which is a work of art to watch. And somebody clipped this stuff because it's phenomenal. But now the immortal is marching onto this keep. It's got half its life left. There's level 16s in for both teams. Alarak tries to find the combo, but Ming is so far back. She doesn't want a smell of any trouble. Dark Wolf's going up there, trying to provide a bit of zoning, just so that Hanzo can get a bit of free damage onto this. But in comes Tyrael, gets cleansed safely, steps back, but the cocoons onto Ana.
Yeah, but they've gone into the backline. Joxy gets the stuff with the Nubrak. He's going to get locked down soon enough, but the sleep and the stuns and the Dragon's Arrow means that this is a full-on brawl, but it seems like PEW have come out with 5 members at full health instead.
Boom, boom, boom! Hanzo's down as well. It's 3 members. Hanzo's not down. He's just about survived, but it's 3 members down. The Immortal's still marching. It's got the health. I think they can go all the way here. Anna's going to come out and try to provide a bit of pressure. Zotti goes down. Boom! Tetris for PEW. It's 4 kills to nothing. They're going to secure game number 2 and the match. Well played in this phenomenal Division 1 series.
Wow, that was an execution there in that last team fight. I can't quite believe it. how well High Pew Pew turned out at the end there. It's that extra shields that Tyrael provides just means that they can take that little bit of extra damage. It was so well played from the side of eXon-black. They had a beautiful Dragon's Arrow. They had some big stuns from Uther, but it's the problem you face when you play double support, is that you quite often just don't quite have that last bit of damage to finish people off. And when there is the Rhaegar and Tyrael, both providing a good amount of sustain, you're going to struggle to find that first kill. And High Pew Pew took advantage of that, and they took the game.
I have to say, High Pew Pew are the winners here, and deservedly so. But it's been an absolute delight to watch eXon-black in this series, particularly in that game number 2. The Uther plays. Effectively, Uther was playing tank and Muradin was playing assassin, and it was really glorious to watch. There's some of the ways that they were locking down targets and really threatening the Genji. But again, the lockdown that they put in response, like how many? I don't know actually how many times Anubrak died. I didn't actually manage to see that, but I think Anubrak got punished quite a lot just for being anywhere near that damage and stun locks from eXon-black. But ultimately, High Pew Pew were able to secure that victory. We'll just see if they want to have a chat with us and give us a winner's interview. But we'll just wait to hear from them about that. But what do you make of that performance there from both of these teams?
I think it showed that if we get to the Mythic Cup and eXon-black, they look like they're a team that want to be in that top 8 places. I think we'll have a fantastic Mythic Cup. If that's what we're seeing from the level of skill from the second seed currently, second place, and also the 8th, that's a Mythic Cup I want to be watching.
It's gonna be something else, and it's something to watch out for sure. Like the quality of these teams in Division 1 looking absolutely sensational. That's including the losing team here. And, eXon-black have lost 2-0 and they still look like a devastatingly strong team. So credit to them for looking so strong. You mentioned the playoffs. Don't forget, by the way, that we have the Heroes Lounge playoff draw show on Sunday, the 1st of March. So don't put that in your calendars, comrades. Yep. And that's definitely something to watch out for. That's where the groups for the group stages of the playoffs are drawn. So there's 4 playoffs in Heroes Lounge. We've got the Mythic Championship for the Division 1, the top 8 teams Division 1. And you've got the Legendary Cup for Divisions 2 and 3, the Epic Cup for Divisions 4 and 5, and the Rare Cup for Divisions 6 and 7. So there's playoffs at every level, but here we've seen a flavour of what we might expect to come in the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship when that comes in March.
Indeed. So, and if we've got any NA viewers at the moment, you don't forget to sign up for NA Season 4, which the sign-ups are open until the 9th of February. So if you want to take part in some Heroes Lounge games and you're in the North America region, feel free to head over to heroeslounge.gg and get signed up.
Yep. Heroes Lounge NA is always a delight to watch as well. And we're always... Yeah, as you say, sign-ups are still open for now. So, I mean, obviously it was a 2-0, but it felt like each of those games could have gone either way. Isn't that? Would you say that's a fair assessment, Transparent?
I think so, but you certainly see the sort of the little bits and pieces that High Pew Pew have just refined. They're getting those little extra bits of gain where they see the gaps, and they're taking sort of structures here and there where I think eXon just need to iron out those cracks and think eXon have got the team fights down, and they've got they're absolutely a Division 1 team. Of course, they've got a lot of things there, but they just need to know where they can get those little cheeky extra bits of structure damage and those little cheeky bits of extra advantage. And I think once they've polished that out, I think they'll certainly be they're certainly a grand contender.
You say that, and I agree. The extra edges that High Pew Pew got looked really good, but actually, ultimately, both of those games were kind of decided by late game team fights without a talent or structure advantage. However, before we do too much analysis ourselves, we do have an interview available with the Octa, the tank player from
So indeed.
from PEW. So we're going to head over to have an interview there now. That's my loading music for. There we go. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, Chris.
4B1B, a previous
Hello.
fame.
Hello, dear casters.
Welcome and
How are you?
congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling right now, Octa?
I gotta say it's a mix between feeling good, then feeling really bad about my play because I think my Anup game was complete shit. But yeah, and I had to report my Rega because he actually didn't go bloodlust as we wanted to. But
Ah,
yeah, that was a bit disappointing, I gotta say. But
so,
otherwise, our comp worked out. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a callback to the days of old where Genji was OP and dancing around the whole battlefield, but instead, you tried to get a few cheeky plays there here and there.
yeah, yeah.
It was certainly an interesting composition. Was it always a plan to go for this judgment?
Yeah, like we started the draft and we were like, yeah, let's try something where we can go really ham on them because they often draft some like Hanzo and stuff as well. And then we
Hmm.
picked the Ming and wanted to bait them kind of to take the Ana away as well. So if they like pick the Ana, then they are really vulnerable to have a hard dive.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Did you expect the double support?
yeah, we were seeing it coming, but we weren't that afraid because we said like we can just cocoon the Ufer and judgment the Ana so that she can't clear the cocoon with her 1AA. The coordination didn't work out as well as we wanted to, but I think that was mostly on me because I don't know. I had a Windows update running in the background, so I got an excuse.
Classic Windows update.
Well, I mean, yeah. So in the end, the judgment was often not used for Anna, but more for Alarak, and really there was a lot of focus on to trying to bring that Alarak down. It seemed like from your team. Now, why was he the focus target rather than say the Anna or
It,
someone else?
that was just like a call in the moment because the Ana was so far back, either even out of vision or so far back that like no one would be able to follow up. And then we said, yeah, Alarak is so far out, and we can just like burst him down. And we said, yeah, then we call Alarak, and everyone dropped on him, and we just kill him. Like we have damage, we have I think almost enough damage to kill Muradin almost if he doesn't press Avatar in time. So
Yeah, and you almost did at one point, but he got away.
oh yeah, you should have heard our comms at that moment. We were laughing so badly that we actually could escape by running around the circle there.
Well, what did you think of that Mirrodin, the Dark Wolf? Because he looked like he was really creating a distraction for your team and really creating
He
some trouble.
he was actually way more scary than I thought. Like we were like, yeah, Muradin doesn't do that much, but he did very well on the Muradin, gotta say. It was way more disruptive than I would have expected. So
Mm.
good job to him.
And in game one, I guess the equivalent role was played by for your team by Thrall, and your Thrall player was kind of being a disruption in the backline of their team. Talk about because the value there that you got out of that Thrall pick in game number one in diving the backline.
Like in the first game of Volskaya, like we had our plan to just blow up someone, but we often didn't get the engaged on them. We just got engaged on quite often and then had to like take it from there. That wasn't exactly what we were looking at to do mostly, but it worked out anyways because we could punish them with their CC, with our CC, I mean, and we could still blow up people, but it could have gone better either way.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's true. But I think so. So far, you've only lost one series this season.
Yeah.
Um, do you think you're going to make it to the Mythic? Do you think? Well, I assume you're expecting to make it to the Mythic Championship, but do you think you can win the Mythic Championship this season?
I definitely think so that we can. We're still improving. Like we're in this full roster that we are maybe for like a bit over 3 weeks maybe. So we're still like improving a lot. We had like some additions over the season. We weren't like our full 5-man squad from the start. So at the start I think we only had 3 people of our current 5, and some were just subs, and now became like main players, you could say. So yeah,
Hmm.
we're doing fine now. We're improving all the time in all the scrims that we play. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Like, and I think we have a good shot at winning the playoffs as well. Then at the end of the season.
Another trophy for the trophy cabinet, hey Oxer.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if I can pull off another mosh pit like that. But
Yeah,
I doubt it.
absolutely. Yeah, one thing we noticed was there was no Mal'Ganis played at all today. Is that just something that's just not being played at Div 1?
No, Mal'Ganis has played a lot. Like, I like him personally as well. I started picking him up actually just this season in Storm League as well, and he's really, really strong. Maybe it puts me off now a bit to pick him in Heroes Lounge now that Wing card is banned, because that talent is just really busted. Like, even if it wasn't bugged, like just the normal effect of it is like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you can't use it, it makes his survivability be like a lot weaker, honestly.
Well, let's hope that Blizzard patches some bits and pieces here and there at some
Yeah,
point.
maybe in a few months. Like, let's see.
Well, yeah. So I guess that affects the Mal'Ganis pickup rate for sure. So, any final thoughts from you, Octor? Any shout outs you want to do? Anyone you want to say hi to? Say hi to your mum or whatever, you know, those kind of things.
um, let's do a shout out to the team that we played actually, the Juxi and his boys. We scrimmed them a lot at the start, especially like the season when we came together. So they were like a consistent scrim partner for us. Shout out to them. Good series, and good luck to them as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will look forward to seeing more of your team later in the season.
Thank you. See you.
See
See you. So that concludes the the Mega Monday matchup cast here. It seems like they seem pretty confident there in Hype PEW.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're saying they're doing a lot of practice and they're trying to get as much in as they can. So yeah, I think they're one to watch certainly in this very tense Division 1 top of the table. They're all very good teams up there. So I think IPPU are trying very hard to make sure they're a breakout team when it comes around to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and what performance from them. But like we said, I mean, eXon-black also looking like a threat. I think there's definitely a lot of potential in eXon Esports, eXon-black there, and yeah, what brilliant series to have cast today.
Absolutely. I'm glad we got to see it, and I'm glad we got to share it with everyone at home as well.
We got to share it with everyone at home through the Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup. You can follow the channel somewhere up there, and you can get notified about when we go live with future casts. We do a cast every Monday, the Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup on here, but we also have other casts on this channel, which you can follow to get notifications about, or we have a whole suite of casters who cast on their own channels throughout the HOTS community, and you can visit heroeslounge.gg/calendar to get a list of those. And there's also Division S coming up. You can find the Division S schedule on our website as well. But for tonight, that's going to be all from us. It's been a delight, Transparent.
It has been delightful, and thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to have been on one of these Mega Monday matchups.
Yes, well, hopefully we'll get you back again in future. I don't know who's casting next week. It might be me again, or it might be some other people. But we will, for sure, there will be a cast next Monday at around the same time of 20 CET. Tune in again. Samu pointing out that we have Samu, but I think there are other casters who cast on Heroes Lounge. Maybe Dentro. I don't know. Anyway, tune in, follow the channel, tune in, and tune in next week for more Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup. But for tonight, it's all from us. I'll throw you over to Heroes at School with a raid. But for now, good night.
Good night.